Good afternoon and welcome to our Employee Service Center presentation on the high deductible health plan and health savings accounts. This is Andrea Lightfoot-Bassan. I am the Wellness Program Manager here in the Employee Service Center as part of the Benefits Department. You can download a copy of this presentation on the URL you see listed at the bottom, tinyurl.com/ESC-HDHPS. Or you can also go onto the intranet and download a copy of the slides there. So today's presentation is going to be specifically about the college's high deductible health plan options as well as health savings accounts. Just a reminder to everyone, the Employee Service Center handles all of your benefits, including medical, prescription, dental, life insurance, short-term disability, as well as the new voluntary benefits, including vision and income protection, as well as the wellness program, retirement benefits, and payroll. The Employee Service Center is located at the district office in Building C, room 117. And you are welcome to stop by and visit us at the district office. You can also find information about the Employee Service Center and open enrollment online, going to MyPima at work or going to the intranet looking for Employee Service Center and benefits. You can also find information on Banner self-service through MyPima. So a quick overview of our medical plans. We currently offer a PPO, a Preferred Provider Organization Plan, an EPO, Exclusive Provider Organization Plan, and we currently offer one high deductible health plan. That is called, from now forward, the Basic High Deductible Health Plan. We are introducing one new option this year, and that will be the Buy-Up High Deductible Health Plan. Both of those high deductible plans are paired with a health savings account. Now, regardless of which plan you choose, any 4 of these medical plans is going to continue to give you access to the full Blue Cross Blue Shield of Arizona network. You're also going to continue to have preventive services included at 100%. You also have access to wellness services through the plan, such as a 24-hour nurse line and wellness discounts and coaching. All of the plans are also paired with prescription coverage through Express Scripts. And all of the plans do include the new complementary therapies that you may have heard about in our other presentation. For details on the other medical plans and changes, please listen to or view the slides from the presentation for navigating your benefits. That covers all of the open enrollment changes in general. Today, we're just going to talk about those high deductible health plans. And on the slide here, you'll see some reasons why people might choose a high deductible health plan. Everyone has different healthcare needs. Some people might consider a high deductible plan because the premium, what comes out of your paycheck, is typically less than other plan options. Some people just want to make sure they have some catastrophic coverage in case something happens, whereas otherwise they're typically healthy. Some people are looking for a plan that is going to help them get closer to retirement. And sometimes people just want to get a really good value for their money. So we're going to take a look at high deductible health plans in general to begin with, and then we'll look at the specific details on each plan. So this example shows the high deductible health plan as a house. You'll see that all of the medical plan and all of the prescription plan is covered in that house. On the side, you have a health savings account, which is a bank account with dollars in it put in by you and or your employer pre-tax that you can use to pay for expenses on your medical plan, but it really sits in a separate spot. So let's look at that house. Our house shows us the different levels of coverage available to us on a high deductible health plan. We'll start at the bottom. Your foundation for medical care is going to be your preventive care. So if you need to go in for a well woman or well man check, perhaps a well child check, or you need an immunization that's recommended for your age, all of those items are going to be continued to cover 100%. So that means you have no copay, no coinsurance, no out-of-pocket cost when you're going in for those preventive care services. They are covered by the plan at 100%. When you need additional services, either on the medical side or the prescription side, you're going to be subject to the annual deductible on the plan. So what that means is when you go in for services on the medical side or on the pharmacy side, you're going to pay the discounted cost of a medication or the discounted cost of a service until you meet that deductible. It will be a specific dollar amount. If you have a lot of expenses and you reach that annual deductible amount, your next level of coverage is called coinsurance. At that point, after you've met the deductible, you may pay a percentage of the discounted cost. And you might stay in that level for a while, but if you continue to have a lot of expenses, you reach the roof of your house. That is your protection. If you reach the out-of-pocket maximum, which is a specific dollar amount, you are not responsible for any additional expenses out of your own pocket. The plan will cover the rest of the costs, again, on both the medical side and the prescription side. So let's look at a specific plan so we can see how that works. We're going to first remind you of some of the familiar features that you'll find on a high deductible health plan. As I mentioned earlier, we continue to offer the entire Blue Cross Blue Shield network on this plan, so you can still see any doctor you want. You will also continue to have in-network coverage as well as out-of-network coverage. So you do have those choices. As you may be familiar with on the PPO and the EPO plan and other high deductible health plans, you always have an out-of-pocket maximum. So you're always protected from really high costs. As I mentioned, your preventive care is covered at 100%. Again, the same as you would find on another plan. Oftentimes, high deductible plans also have a monthly premium. That's what comes out of your paycheck. So high deductible health plans are similar to other health plans in those ways, but they also differ. One big difference that you'll see is when we're talking about deductibles and out-of-pocket maximums, those include expenses on the medical side, but typically no copays, and you're basically paying the full cost of something until you meet a deductible, and then you have coinsurance that kicks in. You often see lower premium costs. In addition, a high deductible health plan allows you to contribute to a health savings account, which is an account owned by you, the employee, and the money is yours should you choose in the future to leave the college or retire. Again, our basic high deductible health plan that you see in this picture is the plan that the college currently offers. We're just going to call it basic from now on. So let's walk through step by step. We're going to begin with an employee-only example. So if employee-only is on this basic high deductible health plan, when you go in for services that are preventive, they're covered at 100%. There's no copay, no coinsurance. When you go to a physician, when you go to a hospital, an outpatient center, or go to fill a prescription, any of those services, you're going to pay the discounted cost up until $1,500. That's your annual deductible. So if you do pay $1,500 out of your pocket throughout the year for expenses on the medical and the pharmacy side, you would pay coinsurance at 20% thereafter. So you would pay the $1,500 Then any expenses afterwards would be charged at 20%. Again, that's 20% of the discounted cost. So that's a discount that Blue Cross Blue Shield or Express Scripts negotiates for us. If you continued to pay coinsurance and had a lot of expenses and had paid out $6,600 as an individual on this employee-only plan, you'd reach your out-of-pocket maximum, and all your expenses would be covered in network for the rest of the plan year. So the most that you could be responsible for on this plan, employee-only, in network, is $6,600. Please note that did go up a small amount from the current plan year. Now let's look at this plan for a family. In this case, a family is an employee plus one or more. So a family could just be employee plus spouse, family could just be employee plus child, or family could have 4 or 5 people on it. But anytime you have the employee plus one person, you're considered as having family coverage. And that does change how this plan works. So if you're on a family, you now have a $3,000 deductible to meet. And that's going to apply whether it's one person having all the expenses or 5 people having all the expenses. So if one person of your family incurs all the expenses, they still need to meet that full family deductible of $3,000. Once that deductible is reached, however, the entire family is then subject only to coinsurance. Again, that's at 20%. And then you have your out-of-pocket maximum. And this works a couple different ways when you have family coverage. If you have family coverage and you have one person on the plan that really has all the expenses, and that person has paid $6,600 out of pocket for all their expenses in network, then they're covered 100% thereafter. If additional family members continue to have expenses, though, they would continue to pay the coinsurance up until and if $13,200 was reached. So that means the most that a family would be responsible for would be $13,200. And that could be made up of 4 or 5 people having different expenses throughout the year, adding up to that total. So again, this plan does have that coverage from expenses beyond that out-of-pocket max. So if you had paid out the amounts there, you would be covered at 100% thereafter as long as you're staying in network. Now let's look at the new plan, the buy-up high deductible health plan. We're calling it a buy-up because this next year it will cost about $500 more to have this particular plan. So the buy-up high deductible health plan starts the same at the bottom. Anyone who goes in for preventive services will be covered at 100%. So again, let's look at 2 different scenarios, employee only versus family. So if you're employee only on this plan, your deductible is $3,000. So again, you would go in for any of your medical services or pharmacy services. You'd pay the discounted cost up until you reach $3,000. If you reach $3,000, you would move to the next level. But you're going to see that next level is actually 0% coinsurance. So once you've paid that $3,000 deductible, you have also reached your out-of-pocket maximum. So as long as you stay in network, the most you would pay as an individual on the plan would be $3,000. Now let's look at this from a family perspective. Again, remember, family means employee plus one or more. So if you have a family on the plan, you have a $6,000 total deductible to meet. But this plan gives you a little bit of a break. If only one person of that family has all the expenses, that individual only needs to meet the $3,000 deductible. Once that individual has reached that $3,000, it's also the out-of-pocket max, and that individual's expenses are covered for the rest of the year. Now, if additional family members continue to have some expenses, their expenses would add up to the $6,000 deductible. And then if the family altogether had paid $6,000 in medical and pharmacy expenses, the out-of-pocket maximum would be reached. So the most a family would pay in network for coverage in a particular year is $6,000. So if we look at those side by side to review, again, we see preventive care is covered at 100% on either plan. Then we look at the deductibles. Employee only, we compare a $1,500 deductible to a $3,000 deductible. When we look at employee plus one or more or family coverage, we see on the basic plan, it's a $3,000 deductible. On the buy-up plan, it's a $3,000 per person deductible, up to $6,000 per family. We see the coinsurance amounts listed here, 20% on the basic after the deductible is met, 0% coinsurance once the deductible is met on the buy-up. Then we look at our out-of-pocket maximums. So for employee only, it's $6,600 versus $3,000. When you're looking at family coverage, you have a differentiation of $6,600 per person versus $3,000 per person. And for the whole family, $13,200 versus $6,000 per family as your out-of-pocket max on the buy-up. The next line you see is regarding the health savings account contributions. We're going to talk about this more in a moment, but again, these are pre-tax dollars that the college puts into this account for you to use to help pay for expenses on the medical and pharmacy side. So to help give you dollars to help pay for that deductible amount. The basic offers $750 or $1,500 for family. The buy-up offers either $600 or $1,200. We'll again look at that in more detail. Now we can look at the annual premiums. The basic high deductible health plan continues to be offered at no premium cost to an individual. The buy-up plan costs $500 annually. The rates on the basic are about 2% higher than current. And then the buy-up premiums are all about $500 higher than that. So in general, the buy-up plan costs about $500 more on any of the tiers. With your Pima Healthy Rewards, you might earn an additional $500 in health savings account contributions if you're enrolled in either of these plans. You're going to see a quick summary here. There's still time to either earn $260 or the full $500. To earn $260, you would participate in a health screening. You could do that on site at a local lab or through your doctor's office. Record that completion in the Healthy Blue portal. Take the online health assessment in the portal using your screening results, and then complete one local employer activity in the portal. And that activity could be certifying that you are tobacco-free as an activity. You can earn the full 500 points by picking and choosing from a variety of preventive screenings and additional wellness activities offered through Blue Cross and or through the Employee Wellness Program. Remember that your deadline is May 31st for either of these options, and you can find more details on the intranet under Employee Service Center of Wellness. And just a reminder that you'll be able to start earning again, accumulating your points starting July 1st. As I mentioned, on the prescription and pharmacy side, that is paired directly with the high deductible health plan, although it is managed by Express Scripts. When you utilize the prescription and pharmacy benefit, again, you're going to be paying the discounted cost of the medication until you reach that deductible. And that is in place whether you use a retail pharmacy or the mail order. Then, if you reach that deductible, on the basic plan, you would pay 20%. On the buy-up, you would pay 0%. Now, there is an exception to the high deductible health plans when it comes to prescription coverage. Rather than needing to meet your deductible first, for diabetic supplies, they are available for a copay. So you can see those copay amounts listed there. These qualify under a special preventive prescription benefit. Again, you don't need to meet the deductible for these diabetic supplies. They would be available to you at the copays that you see listed there. So when you're on a high deductible health plan, it can be really helpful to know how much a specific service costs. On the Blue Cross Blue Shield website at azblue.com, you can go online anytime and get an estimate for healthcare costs. You can use that now, regardless of what your plan you're on, and it will tell you how much you would pay on your current plan. But you can also get an idea of the total cost if you want to estimate that for yourself on the high deductible health plan. So when you type in a condition or a specific service, you will get a whole bunch of details on how much it might cost, the different things that might be involved. It gives you the total cost and then how much you would pay on your plan. You can also detail into the costs and find savings opportunities. For all of the different services that you might type in there, you can break it down by facility and find out how much a specific service would cost at a different hospital versus an outpatient center, etc., and find the best price for that service. I also recommend that you compare that with quality ratings when you're choosing especially a major service to be done. This way you can weigh in the cost and the quality together. On the prescription side, you also have a cost estimating tool. You can log into your Express Scripts account and price a medication. If you type that in, it's going to give you the cost. It's also going to tell you if there are generic options available. If you're not on a high deductible health plan right now, and you want to figure out how much your medication might cost if you switch to the high deductible plan, you would basically add the amount listed that you pay plus what it says the plan pays, and that would be your cost estimate. So I picked a really expensive drug for this example, but it does say generic equivalent available. So that's where you can get additional information and see where your cost savings are. This is a great tool to use, not only for finding generics, but lower cost medications. A drug that might do exactly the same thing, but is made by a different manufacturer. It could have a lower price in a particular year for you. So it's always good to shop around here. So let's talk about health savings accounts. The health savings accounts for our medical plans through the college are through Health Equity. An HSA is a bank account that you own where you and the college can put aside pre-tax money to use for medical expenses. There are some eligibility rules, however, that you must follow. The first of which is that you must be covered by an eligible high deductible health plan. That one's an easy one because our plans are eligible. You cannot be covered by another health plan. You cannot be entitled to Medicare, IHS, TRICARE, or have received VA benefits in the past 3 months. You also cannot have a healthcare flexible spending account. You may, however, have a limited purpose flexible spending account that is just used for dental and vision services. It's important to note here that if you currently have a healthcare FSA and want to switch to a high deductible plan with an HSA, you need to make sure your balance in that healthcare FSA is $0 on June 30th so that you do meet the eligibility guidelines for July 1st. So when you have an HSA, that account belongs to you. It's in your name. So if you leave the college or you retire, you get to keep it. The funds roll over from year to year. So any money you don't use in a particular year is there the next year. You're the accountant in this situation though. So you're responsible for confirming that what you're using the money for qualifies, and that you're keeping your receipts in case you ever need to show that you use the money appropriately. So you can use your HSA funds for a variety of healthcare, medical, dental, and vision services. As long as you use that money for those qualifying expenses, you never pay tax on those dollars. If, however, you decide you want to go on vacation or spend the money on a TV, you would be subject to taxes and penalties. When you reach the age of 65, however, you can continue to use the money for healthcare expenses and never pay taxes on them, or you could choose to take that money out and use it for something else at that time, and you would not pay penalties. You would only pay the taxes on it in whatever tax bracket you're subject to at that time. The IRS does set a limit on how much money you and your employer can put into this account in a particular year. And those amounts are $3,400 for single or employee only, $6,750 for a family. If you are 55 and up, you can put an additional $1,000 into that account each year. The college is going to put money into those accounts. If you're on the basic high deductible, the college will put in $750 for individual or $1,500 for the family. A third of that will be front loaded after the first paycheck of the year, with the rest put in the remainder of the year. If you choose the buy-up plan, the college will put in $600 or $1,200. Again, a third of that amount will be front loaded after the first paycheck of the year, meaning July 1st. If you are doing the Pima Healthy Rewards program, any incentive that you earn in that will also be added to your health savings account over the plan year. So you could get an additional $500 added to that account over the year. So again, you can look at the college amounts, figure out how much your wellness incentive will be, and you could contribute the difference up into the maximum. You have an option. You can contribute a prorated amount if this is your first enrollment in the high deductible health plan. So July 1st to December 31st would allow you to put in, 6 months of that full amount. However, if you plan to be enrolled during the entire next tax year, you could still contribute the full annual amount this year that the IRS allows. And if you have questions on that particular instance or anything else we talk about, you're welcome to come visit the benefits table or Health Equity or Blue Cross Blue Shield at the benefits fairs next week. So we've talked about how all the money you put in there is put in pre-tax. That includes what you put in. That also includes what the college puts in. Any money that you take out of your account and use for qualified expenses is also tax-free. Within your health savings account, you can also earn interest, and you can also invest that money, and all of that is free, tax-free growth. So this can be another way to use an account to put aside money for retirement. So if this is your first health savings account and you want to have some money in there at the beginning of the year, you can put a post-tax deposit into that account and then claim it when you file your taxes the next year. You could also choose to elect a large pre-tax amount to go into your account from your paycheck in July, and then adjust the amount later in the year so you don't exceed the IRS maximum. You can also roll over from an existing health savings account if you already have one. You can also do a once-in-a-lifetime rollover from an IRA. So when you're looking at those tax-free savings and earnings potentials, again, I mentioned there are investment options for you. So you can choose varying risk mutual funds. You can use the Health Equity Advisor, which uses web-based automatic investment, and there is a small cost to that. Or you can use your own investment knowledge and choose your own mutual funds. And again, any interest that you earn on those accounts, any investment dollars, are continued to earn tax-free as long as they're used for those qualifying expenses. When you enroll in the high deductible health plan, you are automatically enrolled in the health savings account through Health Equity. You will be put into the basic FDIC cash account, and you will receive a debit card to activate. So you'll want to take care of that. And then you'll also want to set up your online account. If you want to receive electronic statements rather than paper statements, go ahead and sign up for that right away, and that will save you $1 per month. This screen shows the FDIC cash account and the yield rates available on that. And you can see, of course, the more money you have in that account, the more interest you can earn on that. There are other options available. So once you have money into that HSA, you're welcome to take a look at other options. And I would like to touch briefly on how to use your HSA. First of all, who you can use it for, how you can use it. So your health savings account can be used for yourself, of course, can also be used for your spouse and any of your IRS qualified dependents. There is a publication by the IRS called Publication 502 that provides advice on what qualifies as appropriate medical expenses. So you can look at that publication, and what you'll find is that these may include expenses that are outside of your medical plan, and that could include dental and vision care. Just keep in mind that if you spend your money on dental and vision and other expenses, it's not going to count towards your deductible on the medical plan side. For using your health savings account, once you're enrolled in that health savings account, anytime thereafter, you can use those funds. You can use them tomorrow, you can use them a month from now, or you could use them 5 years from now. For example, if you wanted to pay out of pocket for your medical expenses for the year and then reimburse yourself at the end of the year or 5 years from now, you could definitely do that. Remembering that once you reach age 65, you can also spend the money on non-qualifying expenses without paying a penalty. You'll just pay the income tax at the time on the distributions. So this provides a visual of how the high deductible plan and the HSA work together. So the start of the year, the college is going to put money into your HSA. You might use that HSA to pay for your expenses, whether it's prescriptions or medical side, or you might pay with your own personal funds. Remember, any of your preventive care is covered at 100%. Then you may meet your deductible, and then you would pay coinsurance. Then you might reach your out-of-pocket maximum. Once you've reached that, the plan covers 100%. Any funds that you have not used in your health savings account, though, roll over to the following year. So when you go to use your high deductible health plan the 1st of July or afterwards, you'll go into your doctor's office and you'll present your medical card. But instead of paying a copay at the time of service, your physician's office will see you're on a high deductible health plan, and they will then send the card information off to Blue Cross Blue Shield to find out what you've met towards your deductible, if anything. and your out-of-pocket max, if anything. And then Blue Cross Blue Shield will let your doctor's office or whatever medical facility know, and then you'll receive a bill for the service. On the prescription side, however, they know immediately if you've met your deductible and or your out-of-pocket max, so you'll be able to pay that at the time of service, the time you fill it at the pharmacy or get your mail order. Now you have a choice on how to pay for that service. If you have money in your health savings account, you can definitely use your health savings account debit card, or you can use online bill pay. Or you might choose to pay another way, another credit card or cash or check, and then reimburse yourself later. And again, remember, once you've met that out-of-pocket maximum, you don't have any additional payments. As I mentioned earlier, you become your own accountant on the high deductible health plan. So Health Equity is not going to be asking you for receipts, but you should keep all of your receipts. Anytime you're paying a bill or reimbursing yourself, you want to make sure you have a good record of all of those receipts. When you file your taxes each year, you will have one additional form to file. You'll receive information from Health Equity to help complete that. It's quite a simple process, but it's important to note that there is a form that you'll file with your taxes once you're enrolled in a high deductible health plan with a health savings account. So we're going to walk through some examples. The first example is on the basic high deductible health plan for an individual, so an employee-only plan. The deductible, of course, is $1,500. So when we go in for a doctor's visit, we're going to pay $75. Even though the doctor normally bills $125, we're getting a discount because we're on that Blue Cross Blue Shield network. And you can see that affects our deductible balance. It's now down to $1,425. As we continue to receive services, we continue to pay the discounted cost, and anything we pay applies towards that deductible. So you'll see the deductible balance being affected as you pay for things on the plan. You'll see the well-man exam is covered at 100%, so it didn't cost you anything out of pocket, and therefore it also did not affect your deductible balance. So we have just kind of a typical plan year with some therapy, some prescriptions, some urgent care visits. When you add that up at the end of the year, the total cost, so what you would have paid out of pocket, whether you used your HSA or not, is $631. Now, the college does give you money into your health savings account. So if you use that, you actually have a balance of $119 of college funds at the end of the year. Plus, if you had put anything into your health savings account that you hadn't used, that would also roll over at the end of the year. So in this case, you paid no premium, you used all the college's money to pay for your expenses, and you actually almost made a little bit of money to use for next year. Let's look at that same example on the buy-up plan. Again, we're looking at individual only. So we see that deductible starts at $3,000. So it will look very similar. We're getting those discounted costs for the services, and those amounts are being applied to the deductible as we go. So this is the same amount of visits and prescriptions as the previous example. It still costs $631. In this case, we received $600 from the college, so we actually paid $31 out of pocket. Plus, we paid $500 in premium out of our paycheck. So in this case, the buy-up plan actually cost us $531. Let's look at a different example. Again, we're going to go back to the basic high deductible health plan with that individual only $1,500 deductible. So again, we go in for services, we pay the discounted costs, it goes towards our deductible balance. Now we bring in an expensive procedure. So if we needed a knee surgery, we could see in the cost estimator, costs about $25,000. We do get a discount with our Blue Cross Blue Shield insurance, so our cost is $16,000. However, you wouldn't actually pay $16,000. First, you would pay the amount towards your deductible. So your deductible balance was $1,200, so you would pay the $1,200. And then you'd pay 20% coinsurance on the balance for that procedure. So the total that we would pay for the knee surgery is a little over $4,000. When we go in for additional services the rest of the year, we're only going to be paying 20% coinsurance. Again, because we've already met that deductible. So you can see those dollar amounts adding up here. And at the end of the year, the total cost is $45.49. If we use that $750 of college money in our HSA, our out-of-pocket cost is about $3,800 in this example on the basic plan. So let's look at the same scenario on the buy-up plan. Again, this is individual example, employee only. So the deductible starts at $3,000. And when we go in for that knee surgery, our deductible balance is $2,700. So we pay that $2,700. But we don't have any coinsurance because we've reached the out-of-pocket max. So the rest of the year, all of our expenses are covered 100% in network. So the total cost is $3,000. If we use $600 of the college's money, now we've paid $2,400. We also paid $500 out of our paycheck. So our total cost there on this example is $2,900. So in this case, the buy-up was $2,900 total versus $3,800 on the basic high deductible health plan. So in this case, it would be worth that buy-up, that additional $500 for the plan. So let's look at a very healthy year. So I put together an example where someone might be just going for kind of quarterly visits to the doctor for a specific condition and taking some maintenance prescriptions, going for their well checks. And you can see, as we're used to, we pay the discounted cost, and that amount applies towards the deductible as we go. And at the end of the year, in this fairly healthy year, the total cost was $420. We're going to assume we earned the full wellness incentive. So $420 comes out to pay for those expenses. And we actually have almost $700 of college money to roll over to the following year. Let's look at this same example on the buy-up plan. So again, the buy-up plan starts at a $3,000 deductible. We go in for our services. We pay the discounted cost. That goes towards our deductible balances here. And I apologize for the deductible balance looks slightly off. However, the total cost is going to be the same, $420, just like the previous slide. And we, again, earn that full wellness incentive. So we have $680 to roll over to the next year. However, we actually paid $500 in premium. So in this example, we actually paid more for having the buy-up option. Let's look at a family example. So this is our basic high deductible health plan with a family. So we know that whether it's one person or 5 people, we have to meet that full $3,000 deductible before any coinsurance kicks in. So we'll take a look at different family members incurring expenses. We again still pay the discounted cost. It applies to the deductible. Again, we have a really expensive service on the plan. Again, we see that $16,000 price tag. However, we just need to meet the deductible balance first. So we pay that $24.75. And then we pay 20% coinsurance on the balance. So that's $2,705 for a total of just over $5,000 for the knee surgery. Because the deductibles met, everyone's services are now only charged at 20% coinsurance. So we can see a few of those in there. In this example, the total cost was $58.39. The savings account contribution from the college was a full $2,000 because we earned the full wellness incentive. So we paid $3,800. We also paid $41.20 in premium, what came out of our paycheck. So the total cost to us on this plan is almost $8,000. So let's look at that same example on the buy-up. So again, we know on this plan, we have a $3,000 per person deductible, up to $6,000 for family. So you're going to see in this example, we have 4 people in the family, and we're going to keep track of that deductible in each category since we're not sure who, if any of them, are going to meet that deductible. So as we have someone incur expenses, in this case it was one of the children, we're going to apply that $75 towards that child's deductible balance, and we're also going to apply it towards the family deductible balance. Now as a family, we fill a bunch of prescriptions, and we can see we're paying $50 for the mom, $350 for the dad, $50 for the child. So again, we're going to keep track of the deductible balance for each of those individuals. And we're also going to look at the deductible balance for the whole family. Of course, any of the preventive visits are going to be covered 100%. Again, we're going to bring in that knee surgery. So we have this discounted cost in here, but the knee surgery in this case only costs $2,650 because the dad's balance towards the deductible at the time is only $2,650. We're still going to apply the whole amount though towards the family deductible. Now if the child goes in for a visit, there's still going to be expenses because that child hasn't met the deductible. But when the dad goes in for more services, he doesn't incur any additional expenses because he's already met the deductible. We see the prescriptions come in again here, and we see again the mom's prescription costs $50. On the right-hand side, the child's prescriptions cost $50. But the dad's prescriptions, of course, cost $0 because dad already met the deductible and all of his expenses are now covered at 100%. Again, we look at the total cost here, $3,435. If we account for $1,700 coming from the college into the health savings account, then our cost here is $1,735. And we paid $46.20 in premium for a total cost of $6,300. That's quite a bit different from the $8,000 we saw in the previous example. So again, in this case, that buy-up option helped us out a lot in our total costs at the end of the year. So how do you figure out what plan is best for you? How do you compare it to the PPO and the EPO? Well, you can use the estimated benefits calculator on the intranet under Employee Service Center Open Enrollment. That calculator allows you to put in expenses that you think you might incur on the medical side as well as the prescription side and look at the total cost to you at the end of the year. And you can play around with a healthy year and a non-healthy year and compare how the plans play out in those particular scenarios to help you choose the best plan for you. When you're on the high deductible health plan or even any other medical plan, there are some good ways to continue to save money. Always accessing your preventive care when that's covered 100%, or you have access to on-site screenings, you could take advantage of those. only using the emergency room when it's a true emergency room. Your convenience care clinics, like the ones you can find at Walgreens and CVS, and the urgent care centers in town, are always going to be a lot less cost than an ER visit. You can also use the nurse line available through the Blue Cross plan. You can access a nurse 24/7. If you're not sure if you need to go into the doctor's office or a convenience care clinic, you can call the nurse and get their advice first. And of course, the more you take a look at costs, the more potential you have to save. You can also utilize the employee assistance program, especially if you need some benefits on the behavioral health side. You have access to up to 6 free and confidential counseling sessions each year through Jorgensen's Brooks. A quick note on flexible spending accounts. Again, I mentioned earlier that you cannot have a healthcare flexible spending account combined with a health savings account. That would basically be like double dipping. However, you can have a limited purpose flexible spending account along with your HSA. That would allow you to put aside pre-tax dollars to use for dental and vision expenses only. And you can put up to $2,600 into that account. The full amount that you elect is available to you July 1st. So even though it's not coming out of your paycheck until later throughout the year, you can have that full amount available to you July 1st. If you want, you can add a debit card for $18 a year. And you do have an additional 75 days after the plan year ends to incur expenses and some additional time to submit all your claims. But remember that flexible spending accounts are use it or lose it plans. So even the limited purpose FSA is a use it or lose it plan. So just a quick summary of why you might choose this high deductible health plan, one of the two options. You're going to find that you either have no premium or you have a lower cost premium compared to the other options. With these plans, you're really only paying for the services that you need. Your preventive care is still covered at 100%. And you have that ability to build up that health savings account and use it for future medical expenses or as another way to save for retirement. So if you're looking to enroll in one of these high deductible health plan options and health savings account, open enrollment begins on April 17th and runs through May 1st. You can enroll online through Banner Self-Service. I would encourage you to print out the guide that goes along with using self-service, so it will walk you through step by step on what to do. Or you can download the paper forms available on the intranet and submit those to the Employee Service Center. Remember that you always need to re-elect a flexible spending account each year. And if you currently have a health waiver and are not enrolling in any of the medical plans and you want to continue the benefits with the health waiver, you must resubmit. Otherwise, if you don't want to make any changes, you don't have to take any action and your current coverage will roll over. Since we're not able to take live questions, you can have your questions answered by contacting the Employee Service Center directly. You are also welcome to contact me directly, Andrea. My number is 4690, and the main number for the Employee Service Center is 4945. You can also email esc@pima.edu. You can also visit the benefits table or Health Equity or Blue Cross Blue Shield at any of the benefits fair on April 19th through 21st. Thank you for participating in this presentation. Have a great rest of your day.